much better than a business development plan. Bit of a mouthful today, but I wanted to give you a little bit of intrigue for this episode 420. I am your host, John Butt of the Marketing for Owners podcast. As I mentioned, this is episode 420. And for those of you that have listened to the other 419, or a few of them anyway, you'll know, being a Friday, this is time for a weekend challenge, which is where I give you something to work on over the weekend so that doesn't take long, that actually helps your business grow and isn't just working for the sake of working when you should be playing with your kids and your spouse and so on, or visiting your mum and dad, all that kind of stuff. So, strange title. Quite simply, when we start businesses, when we change things, when we're growing, when we're trying to get a bank loan, things like that, quite often we're asked to produce, and it is best practice, it is a good idea, produce a business development plan. Even if you have an existing business, it's good to know what you're planning to do. But the problem with business development plans is they're very detailed. They cover everything. And what that tends to do is it pigeonholes the business. It stifles development because it creates a model, and you will try, no matter what you do, you will try to fit in with that model. But business changes. I can guarantee that if you start a business or a new project or a new direction today, it will change. It has to, because you will start off with assumptions, and your assumptions will very often be wrong. But you will adapt and you will change because you'll find out when they're wrong and you'll adapt and get back. And this will all be down to customer feedback. In the Lean Startup model, if you haven't read the book Lean Startup, I strongly recommend you do. It's one of my all-time favourites. In that model, software companies tend to release a software product that isn't actually totally ready. It'll do for now. It's not ready because if you wait till it's ready, that's perfectionism. Never happens. It'll never get released. So release it now. Get to a select bunch, get feedback and iterate and change it, update it, fix it immediately, and then again and again and again until it's perfect. And what you end up with is a product that the customer actually wants. Now this might sound strange because you're thinking, I'm not a software company. What's that to do with it? But we applied this to our fire protection online product. We launched our national servicing and maintenance, fire extinguisher maintenance scheme using the Lean Startup model. Using that, we iterated, and that became, that in its first year, that was over £100,000 business from zero with no salespeople. Oh, I wish I could tell you more, but you don't want to hear about me. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by writing down, we're going to start with business assumptions, not a business development plan, slightly different. So get your pen, get your paper. Now, if you are traveling or doing something naughty that you can't get to write down, don't you worry, we got you covered because it's all written out for you with the notes and pretty pictures sometimes. Go to marketingforowners.com/podcast/420. because episode 420. In fact, on the /podcast, you can find all the other episodes. Have fun with that. The other one is if you want more of these weekend challenges, go to marketingforowners.com/challenge. They're all listed out there. There's, oh, blimey, 50, 60, 80, lots of them anyway. Cool, really, probably 80. There's one every Friday. So you ready? Number one, step one. Write out your idea in one paragraph. So no more reams and reams and reams and reams of pages. Make everything succinct. We don't want fluff and filler. You are not writing a novel. No one's really interested. No one's actually really going to read it, not in full depth. Write out short things. This is for you. It's going to help your business. Short, succinct sentences. Okay? Number two, here's the good bit. Now we write down our assumptions. So, or write down your assumptions, not our assumptions, you don't want mine. Now, those assumptions, there's 4 real areas. So include, who are your customers? Next one, who are or what problem do you solve? Then, what solution do you provide? Those are slightly different, remember? People have a problem, you provide the solution. And lastly, will they pay me? So those are the things that you're going to cover in your assumptions, right? That's all part of number 2 there. I hope this makes sense. Honestly, once you get going, you'll be fine. Number 3, from that, based on that, create a list of questions and a script to ask customers, because we're going to get feedback. This is something you assume you are creating a new project or a department or a business, and you are going to invest money and time and effort. You're going to employ people and you are going to spend money and you are going to hope that it works. But it's based on your assumptions, not those of the people who you hope will pay. So here's what we do. You write it out and you figure out lists of questions to ask customers and clients or potential clients. If you've got a new business and you say, I haven't got any customers, ask people who could be customers. Don't give me any excuses. There are plenty of ways of finding people to ask. Just buy them a coffee, just visit them. It's a great way to build a relationship and future customers. Trust me, these people that you ask are likely to form your best ever customers in the future, because you are showing them respect by asking them this kind of stuff. So you write out a list of questions to test your assumptions on people. In other words, you're asking them, I'm going to start this type of business. Is it a good idea? Is it something you want? Would you pay me for that? Obviously, you're not going to ask them quite that. And the questions, by the way, are going to be based from them. It's not going to be, this is my idea for a business. Do you think it's good? It's not that. It's about the problems they have, the solutions you provide, and their ability to pay for it or their willingness to pay. Right? It's all to do with them. Do not make it anything about you. Okay. Number 4, use it on customers. Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it? Actually, you've written out, you do it. Use the darn thing. Don't just sit on it. Don't just think, not sure. What are you scared of? What are you worried about? You think people are going to be annoyed or going to say no, or they hate it? If they hate it, that's going to save you a ton of money and a lot of people heartache of getting jobs working for you before they get made redundant, or your business falls apart because it wasn't something that people wanted. Do you see where we're coming with this? Yeah. Number 5, compare their answers, all right, to your assumptions. Remember you described at the beginning your idea and then your assumptions. So compare the feedback that you get to your assumptions. And this is where it gets easy, number 6. Based on that, rewrite number 1 and rewrite number 2. And then do it again. And then go through this little cycle and go through it. You don't have to do it every day. You don't have to do it continuously. You can do it over a period of time. Just redo it, revisit, redo it until you end up with something that people say, oh, that is great. Yeah, I would pay for that. And you then say to those people, say, as you've been so helpful, can I give you an intro? Would you actually put your money down now if I gave you a special price and you were one of the charter founder first? Can you see where all this is going? Honestly, this works. This really works. I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, I haven't got time for that. But how do you want a successful business? This is what a lot of the successful startup companies are doing these days, and this is what is enabling them to create businesses that are of interest amongst the ones that are just going to go bankrupt and fail. So that is my recommendation. Now, it is a lovely, lovely sunny July weekend, or it's going to be tomorrow. So don't take too long doing this. Start on it, carry it on in the week, show your staff, get your staff involved, and show them what it means, explain what it means, get the buy-in, get them to go, oh yeah, that would be good. But otherwise, have yourself a lovely, lovely weekend. And I will be back on Monday with more goodies for you.